one of the companies that I consult with recently has had a situation where their demand has gone so high up, their sales doubled overnight, and they were already 3 years out, and then they've had this huge demand, and they are a company who makes more production also, and so they are trying to increase that. But as we sort of strategize as to what the future looks like on that, I said, there's something here that I think is really important to address right now, that as you're focused on all of the opportunity, what you need to realize is you've done great work and you're going to amplify all of your strengths here.
Yeah.
You're also going to amplify your weaknesses. And you need to look at what you're doing right now and say...
You mean amplify.
Yes.
You're amplify, right?
You're going to amplify your strengths. You are also going to amplify your weaknesses. And the reason I say that is you need to look at your processes right now and say, we're sustaining this thing that we kind of put it on the back burner. We're not dealing with it yet. But there's going to be a tipping point. And look at that and say, could you amplify that by 1,000 and be okay? And if you realize, oh no, that's a monster waiting that's a dragon, a sleeping dragon that say, so right now, yes, we have all of these incredible opportunities ahead of us, but let's make sure we deal with those things that you do not want to grow along with your strengths. Deal with those weaknesses. And so, as someone who has grown a business substantially yourself, are you conscious of that in your growth strategy? Most growth strategies are very positive. Are you conscious of recognizing that, we need to deal with this before we add another X amount to our current numbers?
Yeah. Not only that, I talk about it openly with the team. So infill structure of your business is a very important aspect, and you start pushing certain numbers. So some people don't look at the shop and the infill structure, they just see numbers. I say, well, you do that and this is going to break over here. You can't exceed the abilities of this department or the spray booth or whatever that might be. And growing, you have to make a decision. Do you want to do more numbers? Do you want to raise your price? Do you want to expand in other markets? Maybe a little bit of all of that. So yeah, that's a very conscious thing I think about. So for those who might not be familiar with my shop, and a lot of people aren't, even though we're kind of high profile because of like maybe Northwood's seminar or something, it's a unique space in our community where it has a studio setting, it has like a mini industrial thing going on, and we have the school, so that's balancing all of those within that infrastructure. And when you talked about something being amplified, it's just not the infrastructure and the abilities of your business in building guitars. It's your social media, it's how people are going to perceive you. When you start getting bigger, there's a lot of other responsibilities that come with that, and you have to think about that carefully. I've experienced, many cracks here and there that had to be dealt with that I learned from along the way. You're talking about business people and relationships. I've said to many people that we were getting ready to go our own way, and to say, remember, we were never as good as we were when we were together on these topics. And now we have to figure out a way to exist not together on these same topics. And those are very important conversations to recognize so that you can move forward gracefully. I mean, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, it does. And it's one of the things I appreciate about, working with you over these years is that if there's a problem, you pick up the phone. I suspect if I was your neighbor, you would walk over to me. But, we live many hours apart from each other. And so you pick up the phone and you say, hey, I just wanted to let you know we're something's coming up. And I think that, you're going to need to know about it. And let's just talk about it right now. And you deal with the problems head on.
Right.
And I really, really appreciate that and respect that about you. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people who allow things to fester, and they just don't, and then it becomes just this huge problem that could have been dealt with so much easier had you just set it straight up early in the game, and you do that exceptionally well, and I really appreciate that about it.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, though that can fix a lot of problems, and it can really strengthen a lot of relationships in the long run, because at least they know what's coming.
Yeah.
You can't follow through with everything you intend to do. And, business has a way of throwing you curveballs. But additionally, aside from that, there are other people within the business who just don't seem to care. It's like if they don't pick up the phone because it's just not on their radar, and you have to deal with that on the backside.
Yeah.
And that can be so much more damaging in the long run.
Well, I mean, the name of this podcast.
Thank you for watching and listening. You can find more episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts. And a special thanks to those who support us on Patreon. It's your support that enables us to do this work.